This is Browny's Podcast!
Welcome to Browny's Podcast. My God, mate, let's listen to Browny's voice first. Say hello to everyone.
Jeez, it's a magnificent day it's been. A magnificent couple of days. It's nearly the greatest day of my life. I know I've got 3 children, which I love.
And 3 premierships.
But as a supporter, it's a different feeling, especially when you can celebrate for the whole second half, when you know your team's going to win. It was astonishing. As a Fitzroy supporter growing up, the last thing you do is expect to be in grand finals, finals, let alone grand finals. But it was amazing. It was amazing. What a day.
Brother, how's your voice going?
My voice is going okay, not as bad as JB's.
Not much better though.
Great grand final. I know it was very one-sided and we collectively wanted a close game, but they were just battle-hardened. They were hungrier. They were better structured up behind the footy.
It was a dismantling, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
A bludgeoning.
Tore them to shreds.
Bludgeoning, yeah, it really was. From the second quarter on, the only doubts, Brisbane were really dominant for the whole first half, but it was just, we see it so often in games and obviously in big games, they wasted opportunities. And you think, is this going to come back to bite them? Obviously then from halfway through the second quarter, they put that theory to bed when they quickly took full control on the scoreboard, didn't they?
John Longmire's only lost in his coaching tenure 6 games by 10 goals or more.
Is that right?
And 3 of them have been in grand finals.
That's a wild
amazing
stat.
Well, you actually look at it, the Hawks in CR 2014, 63 points. Bulldogs was 22 points. It was a bit close though. And Geelong, 81 points. And on the weekend, 60 points. The losses by Sydney. So I tell you what, the Bloods culture, you've got to be questioned. Is the Bloods culture becoming an urban myth? It's not like, I know. I'm not trying to be provocative because you don't want to dance on people's graves and all that sort of stuff when it comes to the football graves and grand finals. But culture, for me, was about grand final day. It was 2:30 on grand final day. And the reason I say that is because Lee Matthews reminded us about that weekly. He goes, every decision we make is about 2:30 on grand final day, and can you survive that theatre? Can you survive that pressure? Everyone talks about the Bloods culture, the famed Blood culture, which was on show in 2005 and 2006 in those grand finals. 1 win, 1 loss, but they were close against West Coast. But since then, you have to question it.
You do. I think they've got psychological demons very, very badly. A couple of players have tished up career worst performances on grand final day. Superstars of the competition, and then cannot get the job done. Isaac Heaney's 2 grand finals have been appalling.
Yeah,
they laid 45 tackles. 45 tackles.
Remember Bud was getting Bronx cheers in the third in 2023?
That's right, yeah.
But right now you guys are doing the nut bush on their grave. Right now you just got to let them grieve.
It's not that, but I'd said all week that the reason I couldn't trust Sydney to even tip them was because of Logan McDonald, 2 possessions subbed out of the game. Joel Amati didn't hit the scoreboard. And Hayden McLean. They kicked 0 goals between them. You look up the other end, you've got Lohman bobbing up, kicking 4. Yeah. You've got Archie kicking 4. You've got Danaher kicked 2 goals, 4. Could have quite easily had 5 or 6. Eric Hipwood was playing magnificent footy, kicked probably the goal of the day. All of them contributed, and I would say that apart from
Does it expose their lack of depth, Sydney? Because they've been too reliant on the big 3 in the middle, Warner, Gilden and Heaney, and then Papley at one end, and the Lizard at the other end. Yeah. So from a pure depth point of view, because Brisbane bat very deep, don't they?
Very
all
deep.
Across the board. Yep. And their midfield is a hell of a lot deeper than Sydney's midfield, I think. And that was shown up. Now, but the numbers were very even around the midfield and all that sort of stuff, territory-wise. But it was an absolute dismantling on turnover. Like, you come up against Brisbane and you know you need to take their marks away. They had 75 marks halfway through the second quarter. It was astonishing. And Horse always goes into lockdown mode. So Brisbane, from quarter time onwards, they pretty much knew they had Sydney because they knew that Horse would go into defensive mode, 1-on-1, which makes it even easier to pick them apart. And they just built the game and just got the game on their terms.
I loved how perfect the score was too, 60-120. Just for someone with OCD. Just looks nice. Hey,
it actually should have been close to 100 points, in all honesty.
Yes. This room is cooked. Brody has had a big... We're going to get to the fun stuff about both of your weekends because your 3 days, Jonathan, was unbelievable.
Amazing.
Dog, you're lucky to be alive as well. But our producer here has... What happened to your forehead? We can see a giant red scab on your forehead.
It's carpet burn.
Oh, really?
How do you get carpet burn on your forehead?
So every year we go to a mate's rooftop in Richmond that overlooks the G, and it's you leave your phones downstairs because it gets pretty untidy.
Okay.
But then at the end of the evening, there's always we do the halftime sprint where it's pants off and you run up the driveway in front of public. And then after that is the annual grand final wrestle, and then so you each partner off and just wrestle for the next half an hour, 45
And
minutes.
that's when it happened, the carpet burn. You got rested. You got driven into the carpet.
Yeah, I drew Big Bolo, which was never going to end well for me because Bolo's about 6'5", brother of Scott Boland.
Big boy.
Yeah, he's a big boy, so it was never going to end well.
So
And
you're naked or just undies?
No, it's just shirts off. Shirts off, pants on at this point. Okay. So the pants go back on after the sprint, and then shirts come off for the wrestle.
Nice. A lot of people are upset with you because you claimed on the podcast last week that Katy Perry was not going to sing Raw.
Another shit take from Brody.
Another shit take.
Isn't the job of a producer to have the correct information? Obviously, have us organised.
Oh, I got the mail that she wasn't, and then the AFL were not happy with that. And then at very last minute, they were able to change the set times.
So that is
changed what was
bullshit. I was
selected.
at Mushroom Records around the corner from me, filming the opener for the big screen. And I said to the girl, Mushroom, shout out to Carmen, they do a wonderful job down there at Mushroom. I said to Carmen, I've just been told she's not playing Raw. She said, that is a load of shit. So she showed me the set list, Raw. She goes, what do you think? What do you think you're doing this video? She said, she's singing Raw straight after you do this video.
Beck, you got grief because of Brody's misinformation.
They were all coming at me. They were like, Brody's got everything wrong. I've been telling my mates, like all our degenerates, right? They're telling all their mates, Raw's not playing, Raw's not playing.
I went to the hot day with Kyle, so I took her to the sound check for our date day. And she opened up did it twice. How cool is that? She did the performance twice. But she opened with Raw, so I was super confident when I'd seen it in the flesh, although it's happening.
Hey, the thing she came out on, that silver dustbuster, was sick. But I got to tell you, I'm a Batmobile man, personally.
Yeah.
It was
Angry Anderson.
And singing Bound for Glory.
Don't you think that was a nod to the Batmobile?
I reckon it might have been. She was unbelievable. I think we can all agree. No one in this room.
Cool.
She was pretty
Yeah, she was very good.
No, it was a good show. Hey, who do you reckon Callum Mills is going to wrestle on Mad Monday today?
Good question.
Brody.
I recommend Big Bolo.
All right, I want to go through your day first because
yeah.
the day before the grand final we do an annual thing at Nobu.
Yeah.
And me and you, we'd push the boat out. We're on the Yarra at one point having a D&M.
Absolutely.
Quite late at night.
Who with Pang?
Pang, Gaz was there.
Gaz was there.
Bucks.
Watched your horse run, Beast Mode?
Yeah, Beast Mode only just got back. They dropped the whip.
Yeah, John had the phone up during the race. He's a little bit flat. At least it placed though.
Yeah,
place there, ran second. So it was each way odds for second. But we did push the boat out a little bit. So
I woke up deathly hungover.
Yeah.
And then you've got to go and put a face on, and you're the face of the line.
Well, absolutely. And I went and found my wife. I left you guys because Kyle's was in town with Amy Redden and Jack Redden, West Coast. And who are they there with? Big Nick Nat.
Shit!
The big panther walking down the street. Now, I'm recognisable because of my height. And I get pulled up, especially on grand final eve. So people pull you up and say, hey, I get a photo and all that. Well, I tell you what, it is another level. When you're walking along with Big Nick Nat.
I love that.
When Big Nick Nat does, he draws some attention.
Man, that's
Mate,
it.
I reckon, even if you weren't walking down the same street as Nick Nat, you knew he was in town, the big man. So
And he's a
good to
funny
see.
legend as well.
He's a funny
I like
legend, absolutely. So that was good, but woke up pretty fresh and charged on Saturday morning. Beautiful day too, wasn't it?
Magnificent.
It was a magnificent day.
You went to the ocean. You're a bit hung, and you reset in the ocean.
I went to reset in the ocean. I often go in the ocean, reset there. A bit fresh, but just exactly what I needed. So I thought that's a good way. Come home, don't have a hot shower, because the tempting thing is go and have a hot shower. Stay a bit colder.
Yeah.
Stay a bit colder. Stay fresher. And then off to the footy. And then I did about 3 or 4 cashies on the way to the footy. Nice and sharp. Just bang, 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 bang. One after the
Legal
other.
cashies. Legal.
Well, as I've said, I'm a big contributor to the tax office. I think they're doing wonderful things here. Except for fixing the potholes when you drive home to see the old man in Warrnambool. But anyway, that's another story. So, got to the ground in good shape. 1 o'clock, hour and a half before it. Pre-game with Gaz and Bucks and Geordie.
Yep.
Loving it. And Bucks gave me some great advice. We walked into the footy together. He said, mate, just promise me if they win, go down to the rooms. go to the rooms. He said it's one of the greatest feelings as a supporter, just being in amongst it, and obviously we got the connections to the ex-players. So I was thinking of that all day. I didn't want to get too far out of myself, but I thought that's in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
And obviously got up to my seat and grabbed myself a couple of beers, a couple of settlers, and then watched it all unfold.
And as the third quarter started, we soon knew it was just going to to be a party for you. So you got to kick back in perfect weather with your beautiful wife.
Yes.
Get a bit drunk and watch your team win the flag.
I had Blackie, myself, and my dear wife Kylie. We sat there and I said, last quarter, load up, get the drinks, and let's just celebrate this hard.
Come on.
Because remember all the shit we copped from those Collingwood dirtbags last year? Remember that? That was fresh in our mind. So we thought, we were going to be humble in victory. We weren't giving it to the Brisbane Lions supporters.
Yeah.
Giving it to the Sydney Swan supporters, but we just really enjoyed it.
Right, so you got down to the rooms before the team walked in, so you got to be there when they walked in.
Absolutely. Only one security guard. There were a lot of security guards. Most of them knew me. They just kept, no worries, big fella, keep going. So I took him down there, except for one fella who, I don't think the AFL was his first sport as a kid growing up, it's fair to say.
And he said, no, sir, you cannot enter.
No, sir, you cannot enter. And I said, well, mate, you're not stopping me. I'm going through there. Actually, I think I might have said to him, bring friends. And then one of the older security guards said, no, let him go. And got in there just before the boys came in.
Mate.
And that reception when the boys come into the rooms is unbelievable. The crowd was going bananas.
Did you get Fags, a cuddle from Fags?
Got a cuddle from Fags early. And everyone, obviously wasn't in the song, but being in the rooms when the boys get in there and sing the song the first time, it's pretty cool. There's beers going over. My toughest challenge in the rooms post-game.
Yeah.
Of course, Brisbane Lions is sponsored by Forex.
Oh, yeah.
Direct competitor to Carlton Draft.
Yeah.
But I noticed some good times. Good times, which is a CB product, which is, you're brown dog fond of those. What is it, vodka and something? I thought, I made a mental note. Okay, remember, don't have Forex in hand, have good times in hand, because there's going to be lots of photos.
Mate, Dog, do you remember when Britney Spears was sponsored by Pepsi and she got done drinking Coca-Cola?
I remember.
Mate, the deal's through.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah.
You're too smart, mate.
Yeah, well, I just mental note, a lot of mental notes during the day, and so anyway, and then Cam Rayner got me to come in to his locker. He wears number 16, which I'm very proud of. He got me to come in and sit in front of the locker, and we had a photo together.
Yep.
And then all the boys come in and got the photo with me sitting in the locker room. So it was one of my cherished memories. That'll go in the office at home for
Imagine
sure.
if you didn't go to the rooms. I'm so glad you
miss
did.
all that.
Yeah, you do. You miss all that. And just to see mates like Murray Davis, great mate of mine. Muzz used to play me in local quaffle level when I was playing reserves in Queensland. Then he became an assistant coach of the Brisbane Lions. Been there 13 years.
Yep.
So, he's the forwards coach of Bournemouth. Just got friendships like that, and you're so happy for them because they haven't been able to experience premiership success before.
Yeah.
And they just work so hard. And obviously, Fags, the shit that he's copped from a lot of people throughout the year, but and unfairly about his coaching.
Yeah.
Lack of strategy, and obviously they started the year poorly. Just to see the joy in that man's eyes. He's a wonderful person.
This sweet man.
The oldest person, the oldest premiership coach in football history, dating all the way back to the 1870s. So,
Dog, we're going to pause your day there, and then we're going to tell everyone about your lead up to grand final day because you're lucky to be alive. You've had one day off it in 7 days.
Yeah, it's been a big week. But the funny thing is, I love seeing the look of shock and dismay on people's faces the next day after I've been drinking with them, till late in the morning. Yeah. But then I have to get up and do a 7 cross really early.
Yeah.
And I bump into them the next day or 2 days later, and they just cannot believe the fact that they were out drinking with me till 2, and then by 7 o'clock, I'm doing a sunrise cross or something else. But
you just strap yourself in, don't you?
Yeah.
You're like that sort of rodeo rider.
Yeah.
You're getting on chainsaw the bull, and you strap on, and you hang on for dear life.
The two funny moments from my grand final day were all week. Justin Quill, great friend of ours, he's my travelling lawyer that I go overseas with all the time. He rang me during the week. He said, "Where are you going to watch the footy?" And I said, "Look, I don't actually have a ticket, but I've got the media accreditation, so I'll get in, and I'll just see where I end up, right? Because I'll end up somewhere." Yeah. He goes, "Why don't you come up and watch it in my box, the box I'm in?" He goes, "There's a couple of Uni Blues boys there. You'll know a couple of them. James Walker used to play for Fremantle, and there's a couple of boys."
That's right, he was quick, wasn't he?
And I said, "Sure, that's awesome." So grand final day, I get to the G about 12:30.
Yep.
I ring him. I say, mate, what box number are you? He goes, I'm running a bit late, but go up to 34. So I walk up to box 34, Shane Warne stand. I walk in, there's 10 people there. I do what you should do, introduce myself to everyone.
Yep.
A lady comes up to me. I say, hi, I'm Campbell. She says, hi, Campbell, I'm hosting this box today. What are you doing in here? I said, Justin Quill has invited me in to the box as his guest. She said, who's Justin Quill? So I've been invited into a box by a guy who wasn't invited into the box.
Right.
And I go, what? And she's,
You know where you f***ed up? You didn't have your goal from the 2008 Grand Final like I did for the Mark of the Year getting into the Super Bowl box. Well, was it?
anyway, she ended up saying, look, you're more than welcome to stay. Like, but she was that rattled. She had no idea I was going in there,
That is
and she had no
funny.
idea who Justin was. Like,
So, but it was the right box. Like, did Quilly come eventually?
I think he just assumed that he'd be welcome to bring in a few people. Sure. And I did
That is funny.
go down, find where Katy Perry was before she came out.
Yep.
I missed a really quick opportunity earlier in the day when she walked past me in the stairs with all her people.
Yep.
And I didn't react quick enough, so I found out where she was, and I walked in pretending I was sort of meant to be there, and a lady jumped up, came flying across, and she said, "Oh, excuse me, what are you doing?" And I sort of said, "Oh yeah, how are you? How you going?" Like I didn't want to say too much.
Yeah.
And she said, she saw my 7 pin.
Yeah.
And she said, "No one from 7 are allowed in here at all today." I was like, and that, mate, then I was done. I'd shot my.
Oh, no.
So I was gone.
So the 7 pin cost you thought it was going to help you.
I thought it was going to help me,
Yes.
right? And I was going to wander through, potentially find where she was getting her hair and makeup, and then
And what? Say hello?
I was going to get my selfie that I'd been chasing.
Again, where was the 2008 mark? The goal from 2008. Where was it?
I missed that selfie, but it was a great day. It was a great day.
So back up to the box for the whole game.
Yeah, watched the game up there, and then
Great.
and then JB and I crossed paths
Yep.
because I knew we would. I just didn't know what time. Very late into the evening at September Club. I'm going to say like 9:30ish.
Yeah, it was.
And that closes at 10.
Right.
Nick Nat knew he's on the decks, right? And he got me up playing jump around,
Yeah.
right? And the crowd was starting to build. Then he got Molly O'Callaghan, the Olympic
Swimmer.
that
Yeah.
beat
100 metre
Arnie
freestyle.
Titmus.
Yeah.
And Hutchie loves her, so got her up, and she banged out a tune. And by then, the SEN marquee was the place to be. People were starting to leave, the others, and they were starting to make their way there, and the joint was heaving. Then JB rolled in. About 9:45, Nick Nat sees him, gets him up on the deck, right? The joint's going berserk. It's 9 out of 10.
Mate, it was crazy.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And what song did you play?
What's that country?
It wasn't Country Road, but it was some random country song. You and Nick knew the words to. I've never heard this song.
Mama Rock Me,
Mama Rock,
like the wind and the rain.
Yeah,
rock
yeah.
me, Mama, like a south plow train.
Meanwhile, this kid was in the corner. He was going off that little song.
And then to bring it home. What about the song to bring it home? Like it was, I can't believe the marquee didn't fall over.
Bright side, and then the crowd rushed the stage.
Yeah.
And they all jumping and everything. The actual DJ set decks were wobbling.
Yeah.
Everything was wobbling. Glasses were smashing. We'd lost control of the marquee. And Hutchie is standing back, just like in awe of what he'd created.
What's Hutchie like on the dance floor?
Oh, great! He likes everyone having a good time.
It's a good time.
Security come rushing in, man. Shut us down.
But before that, someone's caught us on video filming it. Obviously, everyone go up. There's me and Kyle's in the front having a big disco pash.
It was like when you go to like those gatherings for 15, just in the corner having a little pash.
Oh, it's
Mate,
hilarious.
winding back the clock. Jesus.
Absolutely, the old stallion. I'm not sure, Beck, because the music's playing. I'm not sure whether you can repost it, Beck, but if you can reshare, we'll share it on Browny's podcast there.
All right, well, we'll take a break and come back for the rest of we'll pause it there. What happened after the September Club? Back in a second. Welcome back to Brownie's Podcast. Follow us at Brownie's Podcast, Instagram and TikTok.
Big storyline out of the day. Joe Dano might retire.
What?
Yeah, Joe Dano very likely to retire, actually.
What?
So, it's now, I'm hoping my mail's as good as Brody's, and it's wrong, but he's been, talking to close friends the last few weeks, and this might be the time to hang him up, and obviously winning a premiership would make it even, maybe even easier.
BT dropped this before the game.
And then he backtracked a little bit on it because he he thought there might be a 2 or 3% chance that he wouldn't.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to overshadow the premiership, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make it about Joe and not the team. But
I was down in training on Thursday. Went down to watch training. Boys had main session at Punt Road, and some of the senior leaders of the club got Joe in, and obviously word had started to get out, so they were having a laugh about it. They obviously were just letting him know that, hey, mate, this story's starting to do the rounds. Might be something you have to deal with, but honestly, would have been water off a duck's back to Joe.
Mate, wouldn't have mattered. I think he was Brisbane's best player of the final series, without doubt. Most important and best.
And was last year too.
Yeah.
You know, he's just astonishing. Like, really, Brisbane should be sitting home on the couch. It wasn't for his heroics in the last 5 minutes against GWS. And that's that other part of the story. Like, I had a beer with Adam Kingsley at half time.
Yep.
And by that stage, then you knew that Brisbane were going to win. They were just decimating Sydney. Having a beer with Kingers, and geez, Kingers was flat. Because he's, the big part of him looking at it going, that should be us.
Yeah, 100%. It should have been GWS.
Yes.
Like, they're 44 points up, which is, I think, the equal biggest margin given up in a final.
Yeah. I never like to rub things into Essendon supporters. But
no, I'm sure. No, I know that's very sincere.
They haven't won
that.
They haven't won a final in 20 years, which we've touched on before.
Yeah.
They would have watched 2 former Essendon players, Joe Danaher and Connor McKenna, both put medals around their neck.
Yep.
Yeah, it must have really frustrated them.
Why is he smiling?
There's a meme.
It's very sincere.
There's a meme going around that Ashcroft was born after their last finals win.
Yeah.
He's grown up into a man and won a premiership before they've won a finals
He's
game.
a star. He's a superstar. I thought
Jesus Christ.
I couldn't really split Lachie Neale and Will Ashcroft. They were both clearly the two best
Archie
players.
kicks at fifth. Might have got so they'll 1, 2, 3 in their Norm Smith.
Yeah.
Archie kicks a fifth because it's in voters' minds late, and they're trying to make up. I've been a Norm Smith voter, and those things that happen late can be fresh in your mind sometimes. And the job he did on Nick Blakey. But yeah, you're right. Neil and Ashcroft are magnificent.
And I couldn't, like Lachie Neale, he's a great stoppage player. He's the one just getting the little dinky handballs out and things like that. I couldn't believe the amount of space he was afforded, right? Like, I think he had 4 running bounces.
Yeah, he did.
In the game, which is unheard of for Lachie Neale. I don't reckon he would have had 4 bounces in a game in his whole career.
What happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, there's just so much space. We knew they were going to play. Both teams like to play long fields, and we don't be too technical, but sort of old school football. Their forwards stay at home, and defenders obviously do their job, and their mids run around. There was just too much space. So if you afford Brisbane that much space, they'll carve you up where they're kicking. And their kicking skills were spot on. Like McCluggage's first quarter, I know he got clamped after quarter time. That was one of Horse's right decisions because McCluggage's away, he was going to have 50 touches and 28 score involvements. But their kicking early, that kick he hit to Leicester when they kicked the goal in that first quarter was unbelievable. So, but because the field was so stretched out, Dino, that was just Brisbane. That was music, well, not music, but it was a beautiful sight as a Brisbane Lions supporter because you're going, this is magnificent. This is what we want. And Sydney are just giving it to us.
Hey, did anyone catch up with BT after the game? Did you sign him or no eyes on him?
Didn't see BT. No, it'd been a big week for BT. So
great. He's been great all year, and I love the man. I love Brian Taylor.
Yeah.
Sometimes by the end of the week you start forgetting stuff and making comments that you probably
it was a big week. You're right. I love BT. I did 3 or 4 gigs with him during the week, and he was on fire. He peels out. He's a great storyteller. Every now and again, but he doesn't like doing many of them because normally he's emceeing it. But every now and again, if he can tee him up, and obviously we know stories, he can really fire up and bang out an absolute beauty.
Well, let's listen to some of BT's work from the weekend. Really paying attention to the great coach, your coach.
Chris Fagan.
3/4 time siren sounds. Lee Matthews there. Brisbane fans roaring. Dennis Pagan.
What?
Will he become the second coach in history to coach a grand final without having played a senior game? You gotta think so.
Hey, Fagan and Pagan rhyme.
Yeah.
Goodness me. Right. And I'm pretty sure Fags was coaching last year too when they were in the grand final. So, pretty
at
sure
a moment.
he played Collingwood last year.
He's at a moment there.
And just the passion he says it with.
I did too. So obviously, at any stage, the producer in the ear going, Brian, you said Dennis Pagan. It's Chris Fagan. But just wheel those comments back before the ad break.
Brian.
shit.
Dennis Baker's now a horse trainer.
Really?
Mate, we should have got Brian on the phone. He would have took our call. Anyway.
So after September Club, did you go home or did you kick on again?
I kicked on with the boys. I went in Zorks. Isn't it funny? Like, it's weird just how your night ends up on after the grand final.
Well, last year you ended up at Charlie Cameron's house party. Remember? Charlie Curno's house party.
You're as bad as me too.
With Mick Fanning.
Mick Fanning. Oh,
That's
yeah,
right. You brought a beer. You brought a carton of beer in there.
Well, I bought about 4 cartons of different stuff with Mick, and the bloke was so overwhelmed in the bottle shop that he didn't see that, you know, when you tap your card, the credit card, it didn't actually go through.
Oh, so he stole it.
So the owner of the Riversdale Hotel,
He's excited to see you and Mick Fanning.
he's so excited, but he also knows where I live. So 3 days later,
Bullshit.
I get a letter in the mail. A letter in the mail. It's been a handwritten note, just dropped in the mail. Say, oh, by the way, you owe me for those 4 slabs. Because I got in and checked the till, and we're 4 slabs short. He said, so I checked the video cameras. He goes, I couldn't believe my eyes. Jonathan Brown and Mick Fanning walking out of the with 4 boxes. Anyway, but
So Zorkos.
So we walk. Yeah, hang on. We went into September Club, and there was me, Kyle's, Gil, and his wife Laura. And Gil McLaughlin, and Gil was dead set keen on getting a souvlaki. Wow. I said, right. I said, well, the boys are at the Union Hotel. Now I thought that was in Richmond, so we walked up Swan Street, thinking we're going to go and get a souvlaki like just 2 normal blokes, and then mate, Swan Street was packed with Lion supporters, and then the souvlaki joint was full. Right. I said to Gil, all the best, enjoy your souvlaki. I'm getting a cab, because then I got a text from Zork saying Union Hotel in Chapel Street.
Yep.
So got to the Union Hotel, Chapel Street. Bus just arrived. In there with the boys and their families. Tell you what, Lockie Neal's mum, she got a work rate as high as Lockie.
Come on,
she's just knocking them back.
Yes,
mate. I had a lovely chat to her and a few of the other parents and a few of the boys. So I sat down with Fags and had a beer for half an hour.
This is amazing.
You know, the boys were going bananas on the dance floor. Greg Swan, of course, the CEO. All the boys. It was just, it's so good to see the families in that setting, just how proud they are. Yeah. You know, Logan Morris's old man. You know, he came up like Logan Morris looks like he's 14 years old. You know, and they just couldn't believe 12 months ago he's sitting on their couch at home. Yep. You know, still a boy. Yep. Still going to school. So just to talk to those families and enjoy that with them, that was pretty cool, I thought.
Awesome.
After September Club, this is where did you go?
My phone was dead. I was still in my suit from 7 o'clock that morning because I've been working. So I got a very generous lift from someone because with no phone you can't order an Uber. Yeah. You're walking blind. So he dropped me back. I got out of my suit, freshened up, ate because you forget to eat.
Yeah, you do.
I don't think I'd had a meal.
I'm a shocker at that.
You know, since maybe Friday lunch.
Yeah.
And
how many steaks did you have?
Yeah, a lot of chicken and steak.
A lot of chicken and steak. God almighty, mate. I thought I was at the carnival diet.
Same meal at the Palladium every day.
Every day. They are good steaks, though. Yeah. They don't know what they do to them.
So I got the Osborne. I got to the Osborne.
Yeah.
And I had a few drinks there, and then all the Brisbane boys left the Union.
Yep.
And were rolling into Osborne. So I had a couple of beers. Not that I know them too well, but a few of them come up, Kai Lohman and Charlie Cameron and a few of the boys, and they were on fire. And then about 2:30, mate, just hit a wall. I was running out of soldiers, went home, and that was the end of it.
Now, yesterday, because the weekend isn't over at this point, it's Sunday, and then you've got your premiership reunion.
Yeah.
At the what pub? The one that you're on the side of?
The Royal Derby Hotel in Fitzroy. And all the punters have been there. Unfortunately, it was a wet day yesterday, so it affected the turnout when the boys were presented to the crowd at Brunswick Street Oval, the home of Fitzroy. Yep. And that's only just walking distance down to the pub, so the punters were allowed to stay in the pub till 2 o'clock.
Oh, great.
And then we shut it down. It was just the premiership reunion boys. Not the current boys, because they had to fly home. And yeah, it was just great. And Lapo had a couple of beers later. Lethal rolled in.
Did he?
Yeah, put some money on the bar. Open up. Obviously, Uncle Martin organises it. Yep. Brad Scott was there, had a beer with him. Blake Carosella played the flag in 2003. Yeah. Lukey Powell was there. Muggsy made an appearance.
Shit.
So, there's the great Chris Johnson.
Yeah.
Vossi?
No, Vossi wasn't there. Fly wasn't there. I had a few beers with the Fly Saturday night, September Club, but it was just great. And then the best part of the night is the end when Martin, as we know, Martin's a fantastic singer, got a wonderful voice.
Uncle Martin Pike has the voice of an angel.
And he gets up and he always knocks out, just entertains us, usually for 2 sets.
Yep.
Just doesn't do the one, Uncle Martin. He really contributes and he rips into it. I'm just teeing up this footage for us.
And to paint the visual, it's Uncle Martin, just a lone man and a microphone, a guitarist in the background, a single beer in his hand.
We'll cut all this out.
And he's just delivering for the room.
Where did I...
The next leader of the CMFEU.
CMFEU.
He's a powerful man.
Where did we put that?
And he has the voice of Charlotte Church.
Oh, here we go. This is Uncle Martin. With a pint in hand.
The backup singer's doing a lot of lifting there.
He's a lot of lifting, and then I brought it home with.
Here we go.
Yeah, of course.
Your classic.
There he is.
I got real good crowd involvement. Sweet Caroline. Bum, bum, bum. So that was fun. That was real crowd involved. Akka was there as well. Akka loves singing, so he does tequila. That's always his go-to. So he gets a lot of crowd involvement there. And then, that was just fun as though.
Yeah.
That's just when your team's won.
Yeah.
And you've been a part of it and you're getting to catch up with your mates, but you got something else to celebrate.
I can't imagine. You've had the perfect 3 days.
Oh, unbelievable. I haven't taken this scarf off.
Unbelievable.
It's been on the whole time and
thoroughly deserved. Thoroughly. The best side since round 12. Great coach.
They were.
Good senior players. Good up-and-coming young kids. Finished fifth into the hard way on the road 3 weeks in a row.
Unprecedented. That would never have been done before by any teams, would it?
Lost 4 players to ACLs through the course of the year. Properly did it the hard way. Went in as massive underdogs and beat the best side for the whole year. I thought it was a credit to the Lions.
We've got Chris Fagan tonight on the couch from 7:30 live. Fags will probably do the first half hour, and we're just going to... he's such an honest fella. He'll really open up and tell us the story. So if you're a Lions supporter or just a footy supporter, tune in at 7:30.
Ads back in a second. Welcome back to Brownie's podcast. Thank you to everyone listening all year. We love you very, very much. And thanks to everyone that comes up to us in the street and says some random shit.
WTB, baby.
Mate, we copped a lot of WTBs this week, which is great. It's like the back call. You know that they're a listener.
I love our listeners.
Sorry we haven't been able to get a party together, but we'll organise something for next year. And logistically, we're just a bit hard to pull it together in the end.
To the WhatsApp thread, they feel like family. It's just always good to say their names pop up. We could not be more grateful. I've got a couple more footy things to ask before Waterworld. Yep. Eagles have got a coach.
Yes, Andrew McColder. Because I'd heard strong rumours from very good male, usually. Starting to sound like a bit like Brody now. He told me John Longmire was done for 6 years at West Coast a couple of weeks ago.
I would have loved that.
That is huge.
But I asked the right people and they said it would be absolutely shocked. Apparently it was a thorough coaching interview process and McWalter won out.
Yeah, he very nearly got the Richmond job. Okay. He was bitterly disappointed when he missed out. But sometimes things happen for a reason. And I don't reckon you'd want the Richmond job, to be honest with you. So get the West Coast job. He'll have Liam Baker there in not too long. You would think that trade will go through and they're on the up.
All right, well, that's cool. That's one more thing. Joe's only 30. Why would he retire?
Because he's a bit different, Joe. He lives in Byron Bay.
Falling out of love with footy.
Not his...
Okay, fair enough.
His absolute, be-all and end-all. So.
Yeah.
Perfect way to end.
That's right. And he's not in it for the money. Joe, he just plays for the love of it, and at the end of the day, if you haven't got the love there, it's hard to play top-level professional footy.
Yep. Beck, thank you to you all year. You're our rock. Without you, we'd be absolutely useless.
Still a shit golfer, though.
Shit golfer.
I'm getting there, boys.
And, bro, thank you for being the perfect human. Look at you.
Yeah.
From every angle.
Done.
Yeah.
And thank you for everything you've done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And for saying less on the potty this year.
Yes, that's been good. I think that's been an important rise.
Time for...
my last Waterworld. Now, Gloucester Park harness the other day. I was sitting there on the couch listening, right? And the interviewer goes up to the sulky of the driver and asks a couple of pre-race questions. Have a listen to what the driver says in reply.
Know that gate speed is something that he's got a bit of, dominance factor. Do you look to push the button? having gate speed and not using it, Timmy's like having a cock and not pulling it.
Just keep in mind that this might be a G-rated telecast. So
that is
I cannot believe my ears. I cannot believe my ears.
You have finished with the best.
Oh my
That is
God.
unbelievable.
I nearly fell off the couch anyway. I thought I have to back that horse, right? And sure enough, it had gate speed, but it didn't finish off. And it's very important to finish off. What a world.
Oh, well done, dog.
Degenerates, we love you.